need a couple of yoga blocks or books of like equal height and a strap. Ideally one that you can hold on to with both hands while standing, but if it becomes both hands while kneeling, that is totally fine. So it could be a belt or even a towel. This guy. So Cara and Diane, you might have missed that, but you will need a couple of yoga blocks or just things that you can elevate your hands on that are equal in height, and a strap. We're going to get into a lot of scap stuff today. I keep looking at my plan and being like, maybe this should be a 2-part class. I might have been overly ambitious. But some of you guys will already know this, but essentially there is so much that we do with our scapula or our shoulder blades that should be the job of our shoulder blades, but our shoulders or our spine like to take over and help because we don't always have the strength through those ranges of motion, or we couple them together. So for a lot of people, especially if you've done a lot of yoga, you'll be really used to combining elevation and protraction and retraction and depression like in a cat-cow. And we don't want that. We want the ability for you to protract and retract your shoulder blades without your spine helping, and same elevate and depress in lots of different regions. So you can even give that a go now. See if you can keep your ribs in, spine nice and solid, and find protraction, so that shoulder blade's spreading. And you're really trying to use this kind of under armpit stuff, not the top of your shoulder, and then squeeze the bottom of your shoulder blades together without spine coming on for the right. And then same thing, elevate and depress. Can you do that sliding straight up and down without kind of, a lot of people especially to depress their shoulder blades have to kind of retract or let the ribs flare, and we're going to work on some of that today. Because being able to differentiate those things makes you better at just a whole bunch of stuff, including things like pull-ups, push-ups. So we're going to start with some shoulder and scap cows just to warm up. So we come to stand, feet slightly wider than shoulder distance, almost screw your feet into the floor, squeeze your butt. So you have a little bit, I would say about 30 to 40% brace throughout your entire body. And what we're trying to do is keep everything still except for the arm and the shoulder that you're moving. So you're going to make a fist with your left hand, punch it towards the floor, keep those shoulders down, and then start to turn your right hand out. And I want you to see how much rotation you can find. So turn your palm out as far as you can, and then start to bring that arm across the body. Don't let the torso move as you start to bring it overhead. If you feel any pinching on the closing side here, I want you to not go as deep into that. Start to turn your hand away from you as you come back into an extension. So your knuckles should be facing towards the body, and then reversing out. So reach back, up, and around, and down. One more time. So trying to eke out as much external rotation as you can. Bring your arm across the body and then overhead. Keep those ribs in as you take it back. Reach as far back as you can without taking the torso with you. And then slowly reverse out. Don't forget that 40% tension through the rest of the body. So you bring it up and over. Nice work, team. Other side. This time, fist with your right hand, punch it towards the floor. Left palm turns out. So what we're trying to find is that external rotation in the shoulder, but you're not kind of twisting yourself. You're just twisting the arm bone. Bring it across the body and up. Keep those ribs in. Start to turn the hand away as you reach back as far as you can. Good. Knuckles will face you. And then reverse out. Up and over. Reach. One more time, keeping that 40% tension in the rest of the body. Don't let anything but the arm and the shoulder move. So you bring it up and over. Turn that palm away from you. Keep turning as much as you can, so finding as much internal rotation of that shoulder as possible. And then reverse out. Keep the elbow straight as you bring up. And over. Nice. So we're going to do scat pose a lot today, but we're just going to do 1 set, 2 rounds in each direction to warm up. So you're going to bring your hands to your sides. I want you to imagine that there's a seam on your pants and your middle finger stays glued to that seam. So even though shoulders will come forward and back, your hands don't travel. So we're not trying to get like pec muscles involved to bring them together. It's just shoulder blades spreading. Hands will obviously travel up and down as you elevate and depress, that's totally fine. So you're going to take an inhale, keep the ribs in. From here, elevate or lift your shoulders towards your ears. Protract, so spread the shoulder blades forward, don't let that middle finger travel forwards. Keep as much protraction as you can as you depress. Down, so slide them down. Squeeze back into retraction, so squeeze the base of the shoulder blades together. You're trying to pinch something between them, and then keep that retraction as you slide up into elevation. Same direction, forward into protraction. Keep them protracted or spread as you depress down. Keep them down as you retract back. And keep them retracted back as you elevate up. And then reverse directions, depress down. Make sure the spine isn't coming along for the right. Keep them depressed as you spread forward into protraction. Keep them protracted as you elevate up. And keep them elevated as you retract back. One more time here. Depress down. Keep them down as you protract forward. Keep them protracted as you come up. And then squeeze back into retraction. Nice. And shake it out. So we're going to start with some pails and rails in elevation. Let's make sure. Cool. Okay. So you're going to need your blocks, or again, 2 things of equal height for you to balance on or brace against. So what we're trying to do is basically take you into the end range of your elevation. Will look something like this. So you can see here that hopefully you can, and my butt is off the floor. My hands are on the blocks. And all I'm going to do is slowly lower myself down so I can keep my arms straight, but my shoulders are up as close to my ears as they can be. So for you, that might be on a lower block or lower level of the block. If you don't have much motion at all, maybe it's a book. But you want to be forced into this kind of shrug position. And you're being held there by having your hands on the block versus you having to actively pull yourself into it. And so you'll notice, if we were to do pails and rails here, and just go, pails is trying to push out of position, you would be able to. So what I want you to imagine instead of just pushing the floor away, is you're here in this elevation, and you imagine 100% of the weight is in your butt, and 0% is in your hands. And all we're trying to do as we ramp up percentages is transfer weight into your hands. So when we say 20%, it's like 20% of the effort is in your hands, but you're still elevated, and 80% is still in your hips. And then as we climb up, it just transfers, so 40, 60, 80, you're still trying to push down, but I don't ever want you to get to the stage where you're at max effort and you start to lift. So you can even experiment with that a little bit now. We're still finding a little bit of that push down. And ramping up that pushing, but you never get quite to the stage where you can lift your butt off. And so you're still in some elevation, and in rails, we're trying to lift straight up. And what I don't want you to do, as is common for a lot of people, is this, to elevate. So as you are now, you should have head stacked over your shoulders, but you're just pulled up into this elevation. And to get further into it, I want you to think like you're trying to pull the top of your shoulder straight towards the ceiling. You're not jutting the head forward and pulling the shoulders back, or anything weird happening with the arms, like going into extension to come further up. It's just trying to come straight up. And ideally, you wouldn't even be able to move, you'd just be able to feel that stuff working. Cool? So find that position. Let me know if you can't get into that position. Just going to mute everyone so I don't hear myself on echo. Hearing myself talking to myself is absolutely enough. Cool. So we're not going to hold the 2-minute stretch here. We're just going to be in the end of your elevation. Again, think shoulder is stacked over elbow over wrist. And your chin is still in, so you're not jutting forward like that chicken head scenario. From here, I want you to start to push down through your hands, but think like you're slowly transferring weight from your hips to your hands. So find 20% effort here. And you're really also trying to pull kind of from the bottom of the shoulder blades. 40%. 60%. 80%. And your safest, greatest effort. So you should be pushing down just to that edge where your butt would lift, but it's not going to. For 3, 2, 1, and then rest. Triangle lift. Don't bend your elbows. Just triangle lift your shoulders straight towards the ceiling. For 3, 2, 1. Relax into the original position. So for some people this will feel super intense, and for others it will be like gentle contraction on their traps. So your mileage may vary. As long as you're feeling something along the top of your shoulders in those rails, that's what we're looking for. So take an inhale. Exhale. And then we're going to go for round 2. So again, notice if you're kind of in a real C curve with your spine as well. Spine should be nice and straight here. Take an inhale, start to push down through the hands, driving down both through the hands and the base of the shoulder blades, 20%. 40%. 60. 80. And your safest, greatest effort, so you're feeling the tension through the body. Chin stays drawn in for 3, 2, 1, and then reverse it. Try and lift top of your shoulders towards the ceiling. Elbows stay nice and straight. Arms stay nice and straight line. 3, 2, 1. And then find that original position. Good. And then you can gently relax and come out of it. Nice work, team. From here, we're going to do some scat cars, so you can be kneeling. You can sit if you can't kneel, or it's not comfortable for you to sit like this, then you can stand as well. To start with, you're going to have a block in your hands. Push your hands into the block, so find a little bit of tension, like 20% effort. And then we're going to do exactly what we did before with scat cars, just in a different position. So I want you to keep those ribs in. We're not doing this as we find scat cars, or even the more kind of subtle version where just the ribs kind of go with you. So So I want you to find that tension, pushing into the block. We're going to elevate up, really concentrate on the elevation and depression part here. Squeeze back, and then depress down. Keep that tension on the block. Punch it forward. Elevate up. Retract back. Depress down. Punch forward. So one more time, the block is moving slightly, but it's not like this kind of scenario. It's just that little bit to elevate. Comes towards you to retract. Drops slightly for depression. Punches forward for protraction. And then reverse. Squeeze back in together. Elevate up. Punch them forward. Feel the shoulder blades spread. Use that under the armpit stuff. And then pull them down into depression. That's the stuff we're just trying to work. Squeeze back. Elevate up. Use that top of the shoulder. Punch forward. Depress. Bottom of the scap stuff. And one more time. Keeping it nice and slow. Think like 2 kilometers an hour. And then shake that. Nice work, team. From here, grab hold of your strap. So you have options. If you want to be in a high kneel and holding on, you absolutely can. I prefer to do this standing. And this time we're going to force ourselves into depression of our shoulder blades. So I want you to come down. You might need to shorten the strap slightly to be able to pull yourself to the base of this. Again, if your strap isn't long enough, then you can be here. You can even half kneel if you wanted to. And pull yourself into the bottom of this. So you're basically pulling your hands down as much as you can to pull your shoulder blades down. So I will stay here just so everyone can see me well. Probably should fall forward as well. So when we're in this position, we're going to stay here and breathe for a little bit. Same thing. I want a straight line, shoulders, elbows, hands, straight down to the floor. Tail can be tucked here. And notice if you could even get a millimeter or 2 deeper into it. Find that. And you might feel some stretch over the top of your shoulders. Totally fine. So from here, the pails and rails will be, pails is trying to lift up. So it's like you're trying to shrug yourself into elevation. And depression is just slide your hands further down your legs. You creep them straight down. Again, I don't want there to be any sort of crumpling or compensation to get further down. So no rounding of the spine or tucking the chin or rounding of the shoulders. It is trying to pull straight up and send your fingers or your hands straight down. Cool? So from here, take an inhale and then 20% effort trying to pull your hands up towards the ceiling. And your shoulders up towards the ceiling. 40% effort. So using that kind of top line of the shoulder stuff that we were just using before for elevation. Slowly ramping 40% to 60% to 80%. Always like you're turning up the dial on a radio. And if you have more, safest, greatest effort. So you could break that strap into pulling your shoulders towards the ceiling. 3, 2, 1. And then max effort, slowly start to go the other way. So peel yourself away from lifting up. And come into pushing down, so reach. And really use the stuff at the base of your shoulder blades. So you're not trying to use the top of the shoulder here. You're using kind of under armpit, under shoulder blade stuff. Keep driving down, reaching towards the floor for 3, 2, 1. Nice. And then relax the contraction, stay in position. Maybe you can even shorten the straps slightly. If you can, go for it. Give me a slow round of breath here. And we're going to do that one more time. So take an inhale, 20% effort, trying to elevate your shoulders, trying to pull towards the ceiling, using that top line of the shoulder, and then 40%, and then 60, 80, your safest, greatest effort. Try to pull the shoulders to the ceiling. Think the whole top line of the shoulder for 3, 2, 1, and then find depression. So rib position doesn't change, spine doesn't change. Just try to drive your hands straight down as though you could lengthen your arms. Think like go-go gadget arms. Reach for the floor. Both sides equally. For 3, 2, 1. Nice, find the stretch. Nice. And then you can slowly come out of that. Nice work, team. I'm just going to quickly turn the light on, because it is great today. So you might not have felt much in the pails and rails, or you might not feel much like intensity of sensation like when we do, I'm going to straight leg hip flexion or hip internal rotation, shoulder stuff, things like that. Hopefully, what we do next will take care of that. So from here, we're going to get into some elevation and depression slides. You're going to come to lie on the belly with your arms overhead. If it is not comfortable for you to lie fully down like this, or you get neck pitching in your shoulders, I'm totally happy for you to put a block or a cushion or something under your chest. That is not an issue. But I want you to be in this position. And kind of have your shoulder blades about neutral here. What we're going to do is, with your forehead down, first, just slide your hands along the floor as high as you can into scapular elevation, and then slide them back down the floor into depression. You might bring your yoga mat with you, not an issue. And then we're going to slide up again, and then we're going to slide back down. We're going to do that for 4 reps. Then we're going to lift off just slightly and do the same thing. We're going to go up and slide down, keeping the hands gently elevated for 4 reps also. Cool? If you have any questions, let me know. But what we really want to be able to feel is that sliding up and down of the shoulder blades. If you can't get much movement here, for some people it will be difficult, I want you to take your hands slightly wider. And we're still trying to go up and down, but you might feel like you can control that movement better, and then eventually we get more overhead. So experiment with that as well. Cool. So forehead down. Brace everything. I still want you to squeeze your butt, tuck your tail, and think like you're trying to pull your bottom rib to your hip, so you feel your core on. We're not just letting that all collapse. So feel the core on, squeeze your glutes, and then slide your hands up as far as you can. and then slide them straight back down. Feel that shoulder blade depression. You're trying to use everything underneath your shoulder blades. So think mid-back stuff, not top of the shoulder stuff. Elevate up, reach with the fingers. I don't even mind if you like crawl your fingers forward a little bit, or it becomes a crawling action, pushing from the top of the shoulders. And same thing, as you pull it back, draw it down. 2 more times. Elevate up. Some people also find lifting their fingers and kind of sliding the heel of the hand makes this easier. And then sliding down. Really pull into this as much as you can. I want you to get the most range of motion that you can. One more time up. Shoulders come to ears. Squeeze up. And squeeze them all the way down. Nice. Relax. From here, because we're going to lift off, this is the space where some people don't have enough flexion to be able to do this. So if you can't comfortably lift off and hold and feel, like you can see because I've got a decent amount of shoulder flexion, I can also get a decent amount of scapular movement without my elbows moving. But if you're here and you're moving like a millimeter or two, I want you to take your hands wider. So you can get much more movement here. I'm not worried about that being on a different angle. So, same again. Forehead is down. Brace through the core, squeeze your butt, lift your hands off slightly, and then reach your fingers far in front of you. And then slide your shoulder blades down your back, don't let the elbows bend. Again, reach forward as far as you can, and then slide down. Keep those elbows straight here, nice. Reach up. Nice. And slide back down. Nice, Brady. And again, up. Reach, reach, reach as far as you can. Pull your shoulder blades like towards your feet. Last one. And relax. Nice work, team. Very good. So from here, we're going to move into some closed chain scapular cars. We are going to get into some protraction and retraction, and while I still want you to pay attention to that in these scat cars, I do really want you to concentrate on the elevation and retraction elements. Cool? So they look like this. You're going to get closer for you. You're going to elevate up, protract. So spread the floor away. What I don't want you to do is round up like you're doing yoga. Something I very much had to train myself out of. We only want your scapula to move. We do not want your spine. So you're going to elevate up, protract. Obviously there'll be a tiny bit of rounding your upper back because that's how protraction works. We don't want this guy. Slide the shoulder blades down. Draw them together. And then coming up. So what I want you to do is, if you can be side on to your camera, do that. Pay attention to what your spine is doing. And I want you to find 3 in each direction. And I want you to make them as circular as possible. So obviously how I cue it, like elevate, protract, depress, retract, sounds very robotic and like square, but what we actually want is that really circular motion with your shoulder blades. Really concentrating on elevation and depression here, pulling yourself into the very end ranges of those, and also keeping your spine nice and still. So find 3 in each direction. Keep it nice and slow. Good. Even a little slower, Amanda. Yeah, very good. Nice, Hattie. Great work, team. And when you've done 3 each, or 3 in each direction, we're going to add a little layer of complexity. If it felt impossible to do them like this, or like you really, really had to concentrate, I want you to stick with this for 2 more rounds in each direction. If you would like a little bit more challenge, and Cara, Bridie, Pet, you are all definitely doing this version. I want you to tap your toes, lift your knees, and then you're going to find scat cars in this bear position. So you're not letting the spine move, and you're just doing 2 rotations in each direction. You should feel a lot of scap work. And the knee hover is, yeah, great work, Bridie. Is just a little bit, a few inches. You're not going into like full down dog. Yes, nice work, team. Good, and when you've done 2 in each direction, rest and shake it out. And we are going to get into some protraction. So, a lot of people when they protract their shoulder blades use the top line of their shoulder a lot. And what we want is essentially all this stuff, like the under the armpit stuff. And I know some of you are professionals and you know the actual muscles. But for the purposes of this, it honestly doesn't matter. Because what I want you to be able to do is put your left arm out, right arm on all that kind of under armpit stuff. And then as you protract forward or punch forward, I want you to be able to feel this stuff around the ribcage working. And then same when you come back. But really, as you protract forward, feel that stuff working. And you might notice, I can sort of feel it working. See if you can think nothing from the top of the shoulder. Use just that under armpit stuff through here. And notice what you feel if you give it another couple of goes. That is the stuff we want working to protract your shoulder blades versus going over the top and getting shoulder and shoulder blade and a bit of spine. Yeah? So try the other side. You might notice that you have a good side and a bad side. This is my model student side. The other side is my dork side. And it might take a few rounds here and trying to feel into the right stuff, especially with that like actual kinesthetic feedback of your hand on it, to feel that stuff working versus top of the shoulder. Even try and relax the top of the shoulder to feel that stuff as you punch forward. Nice. So you can shake that out. That is the stuff that we are trying to go for in protraction. You need your blocks because we are going to go into what is essentially halfway in a push-up. A push-up is a place where we find protraction and retraction of your scaps, but also quite often when I get people to go into full end range protraction, they get so much spine because they're not used to decoupling them, or they just don't kind of feel the right stuff because they haven't trained it. Whereas, if you have the blocks to support you into essentially what would be halfway into a push-up, and you can drop the knees and make this as comfortable as you need to. Some people would prefer to have them kind of this way and rest your chest. But I want you to be elevated so your arms are approximately parallel to the ground. We are arms up. But again, like if you're here, I don't really mind. I just want that support for your chest. Again, there's so many variations. I have students who like to be like this version. So there's like some right under their clavicle, whatever feels best to you. But so you can be here And we can start to work into that protraction stuff. So find whatever support feels best to you. Maybe here, there's how to push up arms. Neck is nice and long. So we're going to do pails into lift-offs. And what that is going to look like is pails we're pushing down, trying to spread through the shoulder blades. And it is really percentages through the shoulder blades, not through the hands. Because obviously if I get to 100% effort pushing down through my hands, I'm just going to come up into a push-up. That's not what we're trying to do. What I want is all that stuff that you just felt working in our little test, is we're trying to rack that more and more and more, 20% effort, 40, 60, 80, and hold that for 3 seconds, and then we're going to lift off, feeling that retraction, squeezing the shoulder blades. When you retract, I don't want this, like, sway back, whatever. I still want that tuck of the pelvis. And I want you to imagine that you're trying to squeeze, I don't know, a nut, a piece of fruit, whatever takes your fancy, between your shoulder blades. I don't mind if your elbows come up a little, but you're really trying to squeeze the shoulder blades together. We're going to hold that for about 20 seconds, and then come back down. And then we'll rest, and then we'll do another set. So, find your setup. From here, you can take the hands quite wide if that helps you feel it. But from here, 20% effort, trying to wrap your shoulder blades around your back. Feel that protraction. And then 40%. 60%. So you're really trying to light up that under the armpit stuff. 80%. Safest, greatest effort here. Try to drive it down towards the floor for 3, 2, 1, and then squeeze your shoulder blades together. So really think you're trying to squeeze the shoulder blades versus just lift the elbows as high as possible. Again, maybe like it's a walnut, apple, whatever you need between the shoulder blades. Squeeze for 3, 2, 1. Slowly roll back down. Nice. And you can gently come out of that. We are going to do it one more time, but just come back to hands and knees here. And we're going to go for some scat push-ups. So you might have done these before, squeezing the shoulder blades together and then pushing them away. And again, I really want you to do them with a concentration on that under the armpit stuff. I want 10 slow reps. We're going to do them together. So squeeze your shoulder blades together and then spread them apart. Fight for more end range. Slowly drop down and push them apart. Again, slowly drop. Try and concentrate all the effort in the muscles under the armpits and mid back. Push it away. And again, squeeze. And spread. Fight for end range. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. And spread them. Good, 5 more. Squeeze together. And spread. Squeeze together. And spread. And again, squeeze together. Keep fighting for your end range. Spread apart as much as you can. Don't use anything from the top of the shoulder. 2 more times. Squeeze together. And spread it apart. And last one. Squeeze together. Make this your best rep yet. And spread them. shake it out, have a little bit of water. So our next rep of that push-up is going to lose the blocks, so you guys can rest while I'm just showing what we're going to do. And we're going to be much more into retraction here. Retraction? Nope. That is not an action of the shoulder blades. Retraction. If you ever notice that you can squeeze and lift off, and again, I want you to think not by driving your elbows up and dumping your shoulders forward, but actually just by squeezing your shoulder blades. If you can get like a block distance off, that's fine. Or even if you can be here and have the block slightly wider, but you're really getting shoulder blade retraction. But I want you to be honest. Like, I can technically do that, but I can still feel good retraction stuff here. And I want you to imagine that I was there and I had my finger between your shoulder blades. Again, this stuff is what we're trying to squeeze, not this stuff by taking the elbows back, dumping the shoulders forward. It's all that middle stuff. So you're going to come down. Hands can be on. You can even, if you want, some people like to do this, should always give you this option, rest your shoulders on blocks if you would like. You will only get mid-range protraction here, but if you're someone who really dumps your shoulders forward, then you might find that helpful. Again, your mileage may vary, but it is very likely, knowing what I know of most of you, that you've done push-ups before and you know if you drop your shoulders. So that could be helpful for you today as well. From here, we're going straight into paddles and lift-offs again. So try and protract from this point, but again, you're trying to wrap shoulder blades around the sides of your waist. Don't let the shoulders elevate, so don't let them go up towards your ears. Start with 20% effort. And then 40%. 60%. 80%. And then your safest, greatest effort, if you have any more, try to wrap your shoulder blades around the sides of your back. If your brain is like, what is she talking about? I can't access that stuff. Just know whatever you're doing is making changes to your nervous system. For 3, 2, 1, and then shoulder blade squeeze. So you're not just trying to pinch the elbows together, you're trying to squeeze your shoulder blades. Yeah, imagine there was a pencil, where I had my finger there, and I'm trying to squish it. For 3, 2, 1. Slowly relax down. Nice work, team. Push it back. This time, I want you to come up into full protraction. We're only going to do the pails effort here of trying to spread, and then we're going to go into the scat push-ups. If you did okay on the scat push-ups, or you want more of a challenge when we go into the next round, I want you to be in full pull-up, push-up position, finding those scat retractions and protractions, and this is not what we're after. So if you lose control of the rest of your body, then just stick with the knees, or maybe you even come into like this version. So you can add a little more challenge, but we still want control above everything else. So starting with the knees in, push the floor away, feel that protraction, spread this under the armpit stuff. So all of that stuff you felt at the start of this part, where you hold on to the under the armpit, that is what we want here. Spread it as much as you can. Almost try and make it cramp here. So ramping from 20% to 40 to 60 to 80 Spread the shoulder blades more for 3, 2, 1. Keep that. Either stay in this position, shuffle the knees back, or lift the knees, and then squeeze into retraction, and push up into protraction. Squeeze into retraction, don't let the spine change, or the pelvis change, push into protraction. 4 more reps here, squeeze, retraction, push into protraction. Really search for the ends of your range here. Nice work, team. 2 more reps in your own time. Really fight for each end, so fight to spread more using the under the armpit stuff. Fight to squeeze together more. And then relax. Nice, so check it out. Have some water. Let me know if you have any questions. You guys are smashing it. A lot of gap stuff. Okay, so similar to how we were sliding in elevation and depression, we're going to get into some slides for protraction and retraction, but I want you to do them one arm at a time. So you're going to come to lie down. Again, we'll demonstrate for you first. Right arms out to the side. You're going to reach as far into protraction as you can. So still trying to feel that armpit stuff, and then retract. Squeeze it up. Retraction does not come with elevation or depression. It is straight in, straight up, straight in, straight out. Elbows stay straight, wrist stay straight. It might feel really gumby doing it on this angle. Don't worry about it. Just keep doing it. We are going to do 10 reps on this side. So find your setup. If you find it easier to slide making a fist, go for it. It's totally fine. Take an inhale, squeeze your butt, brace your core, and then reach as far away as you can. Feel that shoulder blade protract. Use that under the armpit stuff, and then coming into retraction. Again, push away, and squeeze it back. Nice straight out. Keep going, push away, and retract, protract, fight for the end, retract, fight for the end, protract, retract, protract, retract, remember under the armpit stuff, protract, retract, protract, retract, 2 more, protract, really punch it away as far as you can using that under the armpit stuff, retract, last one, protract, and retract. Nice work, team. Elbow up. So set yourself up. Almost have yourself in a little bit of retraction to start. So you've got somewhere to slide from. And then protract, slide it away. Retract, use that under the armpit stuff. Protract, retract, protract, retract, again protract, retract, protract, retract, 5 more, protract, push it away, retract, squeeze it back, protract, retract, 3 more, protract, retract, protract, retract, protract, and pull it back, last one, and relax. Nice. I don't know about you guys, but I have a very distinct good side and bad side for that sort of thing. Nice. Good. Nice work, team. How you feeling? Good, bad, indifferent, dead. Good, nice. Just got a little bit more, and then we'll be done. So, we're going to go back to some of those positional cars, everybody's favourite. We're going to start just here, like we started our class. You probably want to be here, actually. Well, it depends. If you have gorilla arms like me, you're going to run out of room for depression, but you might be fine. So we are going to do, I'm going to set my timer, 30 seconds in each direction. No, 30 seconds in each position. So we're going to do here, here, and then kind of like if you're hugging a giant, this kind of the angle that we're going for, so not straight overhead, but like here, finding scat cars. And we're going to do 30 seconds in each position, and at the 15-second mark, I will tell you to reverse. Cool? So, watch, let's go here. Are you ready? Find that first position. And then I don't mind which direction you move in. Obviously, we're just going to change at the 15-second mark. So take an inhale, brace, feel that core brace, and then bring up. Just finding those scat cars, not letting the hands move forward and back. And then switch direction. So moving through, squeeze together. Keeping those ribs and spine nice and solid. And done. Nice. From here, arms out in front of you, and then out to the sides. Same thing. Find those cars in each direction. Really fight for your end ranges without compensation. So by compensation here, that would be the ribs or spine moving, or your head jutting forward and back. Switch directions. And relax. Good. So our last one, it's not directly overhead. It's, I guess, about 135 degrees. Basically anywhere from like this zone is totally fine. And hands can be straight in front of you or slightly out to the side. Ribs are down. Feel your core on. And then, same again, just find cars here. You might notice that you have a lot less range here in certain parts. That's totally fine. Ribs and the spine, all nice and solid. And then reverse directions. Really fight for those end ranges. And relax. Nice work, team. Very good. So, we're going to finish with 3 stages. Starting with those quadruped cows like we did before. Really want you to notice any difference that you feel in the range. We're going to do 3 reps in each direction. Then, next level will be bear, finding scat cows in each direction for either 2 reps or staying with the knees down. I'd like everyone to give it a try, but if it really doesn't work for you, then go back to knees down. And then we'll take a little pause, and then the last one is either scat cows in a push-up or a slightly extended bear. So you're not fully here anymore, you're kind of halfway to a push-up. Again, if you do bear and it doesn't work for you, stay on the ground. Or if you do bear and you walk it out and you're like, no, I'm not strong enough for that yet, then just stick with bear. Cool? So 3 reps, knees on the floor for the first round, and then 2 each in each direction for the second 2. So find your setup. Keep your spine solid. From here, squeeze into retraction, elevate up, protract, and depress, retract, elevate, protract, depress. Last round, keep going in that direction, trying to make it more circular. And then reverse, so depress, protract, elevate, squeeze together, depress, protract, elevate, retract. Last one, make it circular, fight for more on the edges. Good. If your wrists are starting to not enjoy it, 2 options. You can walk them slightly further ahead, but I would prefer making a fist. So, second level, 2 reps in each direction. See if you can tuck the toes, lift the knees. I am happy for you to go in whichever direction you would like. Make this as big as you can without compensation. And then reverse directions. And rest. Shake it out. Take a couple of deep breaths. And the very last thing that we're going to do today, so either stick with bear, walk the knees out, or find the full push-up. Whatever level you choose, whatever you're up to today is totally fine by me. Just make it the most challenging that you can handle in your current state, whatever that is. Cool? So last 2. Find that position. Slowly moving through your calves. Rest, take it back to child's pose. If you prefer to stack the forearms and just rest your forehead and let the hips be high, go for it. Let's give me a couple more slow breaths here. slowly come out of it. Great work today, team. If you have any questions, I'll stick around for a little bit. Thank you so much for being here for Scapocalypse. If you are going to work out today or work out tomorrow, please let me know how you feel, how your scaps feel. Maybe slightly fatigued, but hopefully things will be working a lot better. So again, please keep me posted. Have a lovely weekend.